they got an autism IEP. If your child is emotionally disturbed, they got an emotional support IEP. If your child has a reading disability, they have a reading IEP. But for math, they go to the regular class. Every other class is a regular class except the class in which they have the disability. Are y'all following me?
Yeah.
Your child should not be in special ed all day, but you have to fight for them. So the first job, what are they going to learn? Placement. Where will they receive their special ed help? Placement. Part-time special ed, full-time special ed, pull-out special ed, itinerant special ed, homebound instruction. Some children get homebound. You know what that is? That's when a special ed teacher comes to the house. That rarely happens. I had a case like that. Chester School District, where Dr. King earned his divinity degree, Chester, PA. Black boy had a congenital disease where he bled at the limbs. And he required a nurse every hour or every other hour to come and rub his limbs and administer him the necessary medication. It was too much for him to be in a regular class because he needed too much. So he stayed at home. The IEP team determined that homebound instruction was best for that young man. And so the teacher came into the house and taught him for a couple hours a day. That's homebound. Private school is another placement. Juvenile detention center, because you do know, even though your son gets locked up, he has a Virginia state right to get an education, so you can't even interrupt his education while he's in jail. I used to be the school psychologist for the child prison in Philadelphia. I had to go in there and educate them, and as an educational director whose job is to do what? Help them children earn their GEDs. Education cannot be interrupted, nor can their special ed service be interrupted. Your child might be in a long-term psychiatric placement. Guess what? The special ed teacher got to come out there and work with your child at the long-term hospital because this is their right, and the school is getting paid to deliver it. Okay? So program, what they're going to learn, placement, where they're going to learn it, and the last responsibility of the IEP team is progress, which means what? Making sure special ed benefits your child. So how your child is about to graduate from high school, been in special ed since first grade, and still can't read. That means the IEP team ain't been doing their job. And guess who's a part of the IEP team? You. So how you let your child go through special ed for 12 years, can't read, and then you want to call Dr. Umar the week before graduation, talk about, can you help me? You're trifling. Trifling as hell. Stop cooning in the classroom. Program, placement, progress. And you know what I hate? When y'all call me up needing my help to help you help your child, what's my first question I'm going to ask y'all? What is your child's disability? Do you know what? 75% of black parents I ask for their child's disability, they don't even know which one it is. Your child been in special ed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and you don't even know why the hell they in there. That's sick! What do you mean you don't know his disability? So you subjected your child to inferior education and you don't even have a reason? And then what's my next question after I ask you what the disability is? I then ask you to provide me with a copy of all your son's psychological evaluations. Now listen to me well, Black Norfolk. In the United States of America, a child in special ed must be reevaluated every 3 years. Every 3. So if your child went into special ed in 3rd grade, although that was trifling and you shouldn't have done it, he gets reevaluated in the 6th, he gets reevaluated in the 9th, he gets reevaluated in the 12th. So you called me in the 10th grade. He had a 3rd grade eval, a 6th grade eval, a 9th grade eval. That's 3 evals, and I asked you to email me a copy. And guess what you tell me? I don't know where they at. And let me tell y'all this. The biggest reason why when y'all fight the schools y'all lose, you ain't got your paperwork together. And the school know it. This is why they forge your name on documents. Oh, y'all do know that, right? I know because I work with educational lawyers. I've seen lawyers tell teachers to forge. I've seen them tell the teacher to forge the mother's signature. And they get away with it because they know your ass ain't doing your job. And then you get to the school and you look at the document and you say to yourself, I don't think I signed this. But guess what? You can't prove it because you ain't got no records of your own. So I'm telling y'all right now, every last one of you, you should have a notebook for every child. If you got 5 kids, you got 5 notebooks. You got 3 kids, you got 3 notebooks. And every time you have a phone call, you jot a little note down in there. Every time you get a pink slip, a report card, it goes in the folder. So if you ever got a call on Dr. Umar or somebody else, you should better give me the whole folder. Doc, this is everything for my son this year. Do you need his 4th grade folder? Do you need his 3rd grade folder? You Negroes ain't got nothing at all. They're destroying your damn children with your position because you're disorganized. You're too lazy to take it seriously. I got to come back to Virginia. You know why I got to come back to Virginia? Because I got to do my 12-hour Know Your School Rights Black Parent Boot Camp. For those of you who are interested, we might even do it right here. We're going to start at 8 in the morning. We're going to go until 8 at night. And I'm going to teach you everything you need to know in order to be the best black parent advocate in the state of Virginia. I'm going to give you all the paperwork you need to know. You're going to get the federal code. You're going to get the disabilities. You're going to get FERPA. You're going to get the civil rights amendments. I'm going to give you everything you need. And if you study what I train you on, there's nothing the school will be able to do to jam your child out. But guess what? Most of y'all not going to pay that $100 for that training because you got nails to get. Your son wants some Jordans for Christmas. He'll be in a prison in 5 years, but he wants Jordans now. Oh, I know, because I do the trainings. Now, when I do my lectures, the lectures be packed. But when Dr. Umar come back for them trainings, you might get a few handfuls, and that's a damn shame, because every parent needs it. And I'm the only psychologist I know in the country who doesn't. If you know somebody else who's training you how to protect your children from the schools and the mental health system, give me a name. I'm the only one who do this.
There you go.
Now, let's continue. So the IEP team got 3 responsibilities: program, placement, progress, right? Every special ed child has 2 rights. What are they? A right to a free and appropriate public education. They cannot make you pay for anything. Least restrictive environment means what? Your child should not be in special ed any longer than what is absolutely necessary in order to learn. Now, you get your child evaluated. They say your child is retarded. You don't agree with it. What recourse do you have? Every parent in America has a right to request of the school principal an independent educational evaluation. IEE, independent educational evaluation. You have a right to a second eval by a psychologist of your choice. So don't ever tell me that they labeled your child and there was nothing you can do, because I just told you all you got to do is write a letter. Dear Mr. Slurbanowski, I received the evaluation for my son, Raheem Little. Your school psychologist classified Raheem as intellectually disabled, reading disabled, math disabled, ADHD, emotionally disturbed. I do not believe my son has a reading disability. I believe y'all never taught him how to read. And the reason I say that, Mr. Slurbanowski, is because when Raheem was in the 4th grade last year, he got suspended 2 days out of every week. He was never in the class long enough to learn. And in the 3rd grade, Raheem had a white teacher fresh out of We Hate Black People University in Norfolk. And that teacher could barely read her damn self. And when Raheem was in the 1st grade, his teacher got pregnant and went out on maternity leave, and he had 13 substitutes from January to June. So I don't believe my son got a learning disability. I believe he never been taught. Y'all see that? You put it back on them. And then you know what you do after that? You ask them, where's the tutoring money from the Title I budget so they can pay for your son to get a tutor? Because most black kids only need a tutor. They don't need special ed. And if I were you and my son got a reading problem, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find me a retired teacher somewhere in the community. I'm gonna find me a college student somewhere in the community. I'm gonna find a high school student somewhere in the community, and I'm gonna pay them to work with my son. And guess what it takes? It only takes 2 45-minute sessions a week. 2 45-minute sessions a week. That's it. And you can eliminate any reading problem, any math problem. So why are so many black kids in Norfolk in special ed when all their parents got to do is maybe spend $60 a week to get them up to grade level? It's because you got better things to do with your money. So I'm gonna tell you parents this right now. You're gonna pay for your child one way or the other. You can pay right now for the extra tutoring, or you can pay 10 years from now when you driving your ass 5 hours to go visit him in prison and put money on his books. Because you know, prison is a whole industry. You pay for everything. The toothbrush, the flip-flops, the phone calls. They pimping us. You think they want to let black men out of jail with the type of millionaires they making off of those services? No. And it's all on your back. Black parents who are raising children to be mediocre. I don't believe in mediocre. I believe in black excellence. And at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, I'm going to let your son know right up front. We do black excellence in here, homie. So you want to come in here talking about you got ADHD, conduct disorder, autism, emotional disturbance, intellectual disability, math problems? No problem. I got a solution for y'all. You little Negroes with all these disabilities, you come to school on the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, 8 in the morning until 8 at night, so you can sit still, you can read, you can count, you can control your behavior. Who in here would have bet me $100 after 2 weeks I won't have a single disability in my school? I wish your son would try to do to me what he do to you. And the only reason why your kids get away with it, because you just as lazy as them. Oh yeah. And after we open up the boys' school, 3 to 5 years later, we're going to open up the girls' school. Because we got 2 schools in Delaware. And when the schools are fully renovated, we will be the largest independent black campus in the country. And we will be the only independent school in America, black independent school, with 2 schools. So we're going to open up the girls' school, the Anna Douglas and Amy Garvey Academy. And I want all you black women to hear me well. And I don't care if you don't like it. Your daughter better show up natural. There will be no weave, no perm, no blonde hair, no straightening combs, no European hair color. And if you got a problem with your daughter loving who you is, take her back to the white man's public school. That's right. And if you sisters want to work at my school, send me a resume, but your ass better show up natural. You ain't working in my school with no perms. And why is that important? Because before I teach your daughter anything, I got to teach her to love what God made her to be. Imitating some white girl. Hell no, not in my school. They could do that at the little Hotep woke school in Norfolk. They could do that at the little Hotep preschool in Chesapeake. You ain't doing that at FDMG. We live and breathe revolutionary Pan-African nationalism. If you want to work at the school, send me your resume. fdmgresumes@gmail.com. We don't just need math and science and language and history teachers. We need black women who know how to do natural hair so they can teach the girls how to do it. We need brothers who know what? Firearms training, African martial arts. Brothers and sisters who know how to grow food, hydroponics. Take care of animals because we're going to have a little zoo there for the babies. Take care of horses. I met an elder the other day. He's going to teach me how to get horses so we can have a horse stable for the children. And we're going to walk through the hood on the horses with the red, black, and green flag. We're going to have our own young guns. We're going to have our own farm. Garden. We're going to have our own community produce where we sell what we grow to the community. We get the money we need to operate. They get the food to take care of their health. And the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is just the beginning. Because guess what? When the kids get out of school, that's when y'all come to school. And you get the same education your child got if you want to get it. We're going to have GED because you know illiteracy is still a big problem in the black community in this country. You got certain cities where the illiteracy rate hasn't moved much since the 1865 Civil War ended. So we're going to teach you how to read if you can't read. And because we got so much space on the campus, we can host any event we want. We're going to have the Black Farmers Conference, the